Hello, everyone. Hello, can you hear me? Just a second. Just testing my mic. Okay, great. I think we are live. Once again, welcome everyone to the space discussion today from Polkadex. I'm Vivek, um, and I'm not joined by anybody today because both Gautam and Dipansh are busy, and so we will take it up. And the idea of today's um, discussion is to give a briefing on what has been happening with Polkadex and where we are right now, and engage in some conversations if there are any questions from the audience, and we will take it from there. So it's been an eventful year for everyone at Polkadex. I hope you are following our media channels. You know that so many things are happening. It's been happening at breakneck pace, and there have been a lot of developments inside within the team, as well as partnerships and everything. So if you look at the last several months, it has been really productive from a team building perspective and getting the strategy in place, especially in terms of building exactly the kind of features what we want on the product and all of that. So, anyway, I think I will start off with the mainnet launch in September. Thank you once again, everyone, for the wonderful support we have received the last couple of months. We have now close to 1,000 nominators and 100 validators, and almost a million um, PDEX staked, which is actually great for a new chain like this. And it's exciting to see the kind of support we are getting from all around the world in what we are trying to build. And um, moving forward, I think the main points that we need to touch today are the development status, which obviously is we plan for the basic roadmap which we had earlier is launch everything in quarter 4. So we are ready as far as the code is concerned. Everything is complete. Now we are slowly pushing it out to beta and also to the testnet for audits. So as part of that, we have already given out the IDO, whatever we have done to the beta testers. But we feel that since Orderbook is our flagship product, it needs to be given emphasis, and that should be the first product to actually go for the launch and audits. So the entire team is actually focused on right now, and it is complete, and it is going for audit on Jan 3rd, which means that we will be pushing out uh, the the order book for testing by the second week of January, so everybody can actually play around with it. And as far as the Polka IDO is concerned, we are also ready with the IDO is also ready with the beta testers. And we do have quite a few feedback on that for the modifications and things that need to be changed a little bit here and there. So that is something we do not want to do at the end of this year, because if we just take it up, it might just slow down the entire work that we are doing on the order book side of things. So I think it's a strategy that we need to all understand. The entire team has been working really hard for the last many months. So it is essential that they are given at least a 10-day break at the end of the year. So it would be counterproductive launching anything at this point and not addressing any of the feedback that are coming up. So we thought it is ideal that when everybody's back, we launch it, which is the first week of Jan. So that is going to be our strategy in terms of releasing the IDO onto the testnet. And the mobile app, by the way, is already undergone audit. That has been happening in the last couple of months. The audit is over, and the team is working on the feedback. So mobile app is actually taking shape. It is almost. It will be ready by the time the main order book is also complete in January. So if you look at the whole scenario, we'll have a very jam-packed January launch with almost all of these products coming to the testnet and ready for people to test in the first month of Jan. So that is very exciting for us right now. So I think it is important that right now we just um, focus on finishing up a little bit of whatever is required for the audit, because the audit meetings are happening regularly now. So it's important that we are ready to give the team whatever is necessary on Jan 3rd, because it's very important that audit dates are met in time. Otherwise, there can be significant delays. So um, January 3rd is what the audit begins on the order book. So everybody is working hard to make sure that all of the code is pushed in time. So that's about the products lined up. And obviously, we have the Polka pool also complete. With the audit on the Polka pool is also complete, but we do not want to do it right now. We think that launching the IDO and order book first is the right strategy to get the product and the entire launch going properly. And then only after that, those two goes into testnet, we'll be releasing it, Polka pool into the testnet. So that is also complete. That's also another strategy where you cannot launch products without addressing the feedback. So it needs to be taken care. Finally, about the Parachain strategy, I believe it was supposed to be in quarter 4. Yes, again, we have already launched our solo chain. Now, the strategy for us will be to uh, migrate the solo chain to a parachain, for which we are working with the team at Parity, which they have promised that they will be delivering whatever is necessary to for this transition by the end of the year. So that is what we are expecting. So once that is done, first week of January, you can expect elaborate parachain strategy from our side. Gautam is already working on that. He will be announcing it on the first week of January. So that is going to happen alongside these audits and product releases. So we will be going for the second batch of auctions, and we will be beginning our preparations to the Parachain auction in January. So you can have a lot of activities on that side as well. And in addition to that, there have been several partnerships. But before that, I would like also to emphasize the fact that there is still the friction with the native token and the ERC20 token migration. And some of the people are still waiting for the native token listing. So I'm very happy to announce that we have a couple of, we already have a listing finalized. Just going to, whatever is done, needs to be done from our side is done. So it is in queue. It can get released anytime in January now. And most likely the existing exchanges, sample KuCoin, would also be, having the native tokens ready by then. So I think January is going to be a very busy month at Polkadex. A lot of releases happening, a lot of feedback happening. You can expect a lot of um, you know such exchanges to happen in January for feedback and modifications, if any, for the product. So yes, I think that's all. I guess I hope I've covered most of the things from our side. But from a strategy in terms of execution, we are also planning to open up, our shop in India. Definitely, it's been long overdue because we have very strong connections here. So we need to build talent in India. There are very good developers here, so we will be most likely operating out of Bangalore. So we are also taking steps to make that happen in January. And finally, I think the good news is that we have been working with Creative Destruction Labs in Canada, one of the very famous bootstrapping, technology and science-backed, investors. So we have progressed into the third round. So it's exciting to work with a lot of mentors from there. So we're very privileged that we are one of the very few projects that have been selected into this um, batch. So that's something really good to have the help of these mentors. All right, I think I will wait for any questions from the audience. Do you have any questions? Anybody? Anybody? You can raise your hand. I will just put you to speaker. Yeah, I think there is no question, I guess. That is strange. I thought there was a lot of questions from the community in terms of, but I think it's everybody's in the holiday mood. So if it's fine, I think we can wrap up quickly. Otherwise, I would just okay. Yeah, we have two of them. All right. Okay.
I have one.
Hey, John. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you too. Hey, I just have one question, and
Sure, man.
it's about bridging assets. You have said a couple times that bridging won't be necessary.
Yes.
Can you go into more detail about how you guys are accomplishing that and what that looks like?
Right. Yeah, right. So, did we say bridging is not necessary in the sense, in a technical level? See, basically, what happens is most bridges is they have complex smart contracts involved, but Polkadex is coming up with a different idea. The details of which will be it's ready now. It's already pushed into the testnet, but I would rather wait for Gautam to give the final announcement on that. It's a little bit technical, and you can expect that along with the order book audit that is going to happen the first week. So you can expect that. So it means that you can basically we are right now connected with Ethereum, so you can trustlessly move ERC20 tokens to Polkadex without centralized layers. So that's what it is. Cool, John. You're okay.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah,
Thanks, Vivek.
yeah. Thanks, John. Bye.
Hello. One question, Vivek.
Hey, Agustin.
So once Polkadex wins the Parachain auction or wins a slot, that's what I meant. When will trading be actually available in the platform? Will it be right away? Will it take a little bit more development for it to occur?
Well, I think the moment the interoperability module is pushed into the solo chain we are open to trade. So it doesn't really depend on the parachain, but when the but the parachain, if it requires certain conditions where we need to have if there is any issues in terms of the consensus that needs to be taken out of the runtime, there are certain things that are happening, for the migration, the solo chain to parachain migration. So only if
I
that
see.
involves certain stopping of trading, like for example, we may need to bring down the trading activity for 24 hours. But then again, it will be like, like an event where you have to stop everything, and then from that specific block onwards, all of the the finalization will be happening on Polkadot from a specific
Okay.
block, but it doesn't really affect us to launch the product. We can launch it, but then so that's how it works. It's not necessary that okay, we just wait indefinitely for everything to happen. No, we can do that.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
because once the
Okay. That's yeah.
interoperability is ready and the liquidity is coming in, it shouldn't stop us from launching it. Okay.
Okay, amazing.
Thanks.
And then obviously, since it will be a decentralized exchange, you guys will have pools for people to
Yeah.
deposit to provide liquidity, correct?
Yeah, Polka Pool. That will be part of Polka Pool. Yes.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very
Thank you.
much, Vivek.
Thanks, Agustin.
Hi, Vivek. Great presentation again. I've got a question for you, if that's okay. So you mentioned that Polkadex will be using ERC20 tokens, or is it Ethereum tokens on the network as a DEX to trade from. But a lot of the liquidity is going to be from customers are going to be on other wallets, like Coinbase wallet or MetaMask. When do you think this will be moving over to Polkadex? Because essentially, a lot of people have assets that hold it in MetaMask or in Coinbase wallet, and other wallets, Binance wallet. So how do you think those wallets will be interacting with Polkadex in the future?
Right. I think we are right now focused on building our mobile wallet, which can be utilized in the beginning, where you simply deposit your funds from your MetaMasks to the wallet address in your mobile, or it will be like an ERC20 address where you just simply deposit it, and then you can start using it. But integrating MetaMask, that will wait, because we are first working on our wallet, and that will be what we will be using initially.
Amazing. No, thank you for that. That really helps and explains. Thanks again, and good luck, guys. Really enjoying the work. Thank you.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, Vivek. How are you doing?
Hey, man. Nice.
Okay, great. So actually, I have 3 questions, but I'll ask only 2. So the first question I have is, at the moment, the regulatory rules are getting really tight, and I feel kind of uncertain about the way that America will approach all this crypto and decentralization. And for instance, I don't know, America or any other country will vote against decentralized exchanges. What would be the action by Polkadex to ensure more network adoption and the product will keep working as you described?
Yes, thanks for a very good question. Exactly for this reason, I'm traveling right now. I was in Tallinn because that's where our company is based out of. So most of the regulations that we are going to follow to get this product to the people would be based on European Union regulations, right? So we're trying to get an Estonian crypto exchange license through which we should be able to operate. And any sort of repercussions that happen within the US is going to be, we will not be offering that to US citizens. And whatever we can do from our side, we will do it from the interface that we operate on. But on a decentralized blockchain perspective, as you know, and everybody knows here, that it is impossible to stop anybody from accessing it through technology. But we want to, at least from our side, make sure that everything is properly, disclaimed, right, in terms of what we are doing, and that we do not intend to break the law in any terms, right? So we want to respect certain jurisdictions and respect certain things when you operate out of, with a specific license. When you are trying to engage the traditional institutions, you have to follow certain guidelines. So that is whatever is within our power, we can do it. So I'm right now discussing with the lawyers to make sure that what is possible and what is not possible from an exchange perspective when you're delivering something like this, right? In terms of what can be deposited and what can be withdrawn and how it should be traced and how it should be presented. So, so the final outcome, I think I spoke in the last discussion we had the other day, these people can even affect the way the user interface behaves, right? For example, a person, how he experiences the whole thing, right, when he starts trading. So if they need this additional checks and balances on the users and stuff, then it becomes that much more difficult for people to set it up. So definitely it's going to be a headache. I'm not saying that. I believe that is the biggest headache we have in the space right now. And not even the technology, because technology can be solved through whatever means that is available to us. But this is the biggest headache that everybody is facing, and we are not exempted. But we will do what we can, man. I mean, we are trying to see how we can put this across and at least get the basic features that we intended to do working, right? Becoming a peer-to-peer non-custodial exchange. At least that we can achieve. the later stuff, I think one by one, I think it's like a step-by-step process.
Yeah, but let's say the kind of regulation will rule against decentralization. Would you care to add more features to the PDEX token? I don't know, like NFT marketplace with no fees or any kind of stuff that would apply to the rules and the regulations to bring more network adoption?
We should just focus on building out the protocol right now, because we are not a business yet, right? It's not just yet.
Okay.
We're not really, there are two sides to it: building protocols which people can use, and then building a business on it. So the DApps will happen. So when that happens, I think it depends on the market at that time. What is the regulation? What are the things that need to be done? So you have to be very nimble there. If you have a very rigid strategy right now, it can fail. So it's better you play a waiting game on that. Let them pass the bill. Let's see what comes through, and then we will do it. All right.
No problem.
Yep.
Okay, thank you very much. And my other question is, do you have any marketing strategy after the Parachain is secured, or the Polka.io is already working and the order book is working, like to bring more network adoption?
Absolutely.
Like
I think the strategy will be announced in January as part of the Parachain, auction strategy and everything. So I think it's part of that. So in January, you can expect that. And also, the initial set of users that we have definitely, the strategy will be to focus on crypto natives, right? Because they understand the technology well. So we will be focusing more on rewards and how to attract incentivized liquidity to the system.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
All right. Thanks.
Hey Vivek, how are you?
Great. Thanks, man. Thanks. How are you doing? Been a while. I heard
I'm
from
good.
you.
I'm good.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's been a while. I heard from you. Sometimes you chat.
Yeah. It's been a while. Okay, so I'm wondering, do you have any timelines to when at least the public testnet would be for order book? I think it is something that may help us with
I mean, definitely it's going for audit, right? So once it comes out of audit, then it goes to the beta testers, right? So the beta testers we can play with it. So that will be in the testnet.
Okay.
Yeah. So
and is there going to be a public testnet like soon
afterwards? No, we don't want to
because I
release
think people
everything to see. The problem with public, you see, you have to funnel the request, right? So you have like 100 things coming up, everything together. It can be difficult in terms of how you manage the
of course,
if there's any request, right? So it's better that we have. That's why we sort of handpicked a few people for beta testing.
Okay.
So it's easier to first iterate with them, and then you push it to public. And the beta testers can maybe help the community by letting them know what they're working on. Sometimes, like not everything, but at least they can let them know that this is actually working. Okay, the product is there. So there's no confusion in the community. So that is something beta testers can do. Just let the information out.
But it will be going to a public testnet afterwards?
Definitely, yes.
Or will it go directly to
no.
release?
No, it goes to public testnet and then goes to release.
Okay. And I remember Gotham was teasing us about being able to bridge, to be able to trade tokens on different blockchains without the traditional bridging.
Yep.
Is that Absolutely. Something you can maybe elaborate on? Because it's when we think about it technically, it's I don't even know how it's done.
I would reserve
something.
I would reserve the launch to
it?
Gautam because he's the better person to explain. Okay. But
does that mean
experience-wise, it will be cool in terms of how we are experiencing right now in major decentralized exchanges. So it would behave like it would be simply like how you would interact in a normal regular exchange where you'll be provided with the deposit address, and you can deposit your Ethereum tokens to that address, and it will magically be in your Polkadex chain and in your wallet.
Wow.
So there is no
decentralized.
It's decentralized. There's no centralized layer there. Usually in most of the bridges there is a centralized layer. Then you think about how to decentralize the layers. Then you think of incentivizing the layers. Then there's a lot of complication there. So I think this is something similar to work. Whatever I think there was another project that we were relying on, but this is something we internally developed with a team that is really good. There's a lot of cryptography involved, so I think you can expect a separate white paper on that because it's already there but not been really utilized in a commercial level. So this would be a great opportunity for everybody to see how it works. Yeah,
and it'll be off the bat. When we have the order book. This will be implemented with
right.
it.
It goes
Correct?
with the order book
Wow.
because without this, nothing works, right? That's why we didn't even want to launch the IDO before that, because without liquidity, what is IDO, right? What is the point in having an interface that doesn't work? So we need tokens to come in. Only then these things will start moving. The product starts moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just a weird question. Do you have any maybe idea? Are you maybe thinking about sharing liquidity with some other blockchains in some way or other DEXes?
Yes.
Maybe is this something that you can consider? It could be done. I don't know if it can be.
We can do that later because right now, as I said, we don't want to overcomplicate things, right? Because let's build out the protocol stuff. Whatever needs to be built out, and then we can think of all these additional features. Because since we are not working like how 1inch or anything, right? So it's more of a native chain with a native token and native liquidity. So we can definitely think of. We already have the technology to bridge right now, so it shouldn't be hard, for giving access to other chains. But we want to do it in a decentralized way. We don't want to have any centralized systems in between. So we will try to avoid that just to achieve this feature. So whatever we work on should be more kind of, there shouldn't be somebody responsible to guard it. I mean, otherwise it becomes a pain. So
yeah. Definitely. That's very cool. Yep. Very great job you're doing. It's very interesting, cool stuff. Thank you, Vivek.
Thanks, man. Bye. Keep in touch.
How you doing, Vivek?
Hey there, man.
A question for you. Can you give us some more information on the mobile wallet? Like if there's going to be any staking on there?
Yeah, right. So mobile wallet will be something really cool because it is something that we built using proxy accounts. So it's kind of an account where you basically authorize your mobile wallet on chain on the main Polkadex page. Once you give your signature and authorize it, you will now be able to use your mobile wallet for all sorts of trading, except for withdrawal. So you don't have to put your signature again and again. So it will be like automatically picked up, and it becomes a much more seamless experience, unlike what you see today. Even with normal exchanges where you have to sometimes use session aspires, you have to keep on entering the password and stuff. So this is much more seamless. So yeah, you can actually trade on the go on the mobile wallet.
Okay, great. Also for the Parachain auction, can you give some more information? Like, there's going to be a crowd loan, or are you guys still figuring it out?
Of course, yeah, there will be a crowd loan, but the place or the host of the crowd loan, that is right now being negotiated with a few people. I mean, that's not finalized.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
One more question, Vivek. Two actually.
Yes, please.
One is: Is the app going to be on iPhone, iOS, and Android?
Yeah, iOS and Android.
Cool. And the other one is: will there be APIs? From what I'm understanding,
of course.
So we will be able to use an API without having to sign every time.
Yeah, with the
So
mobile,
we'll have quick transactions.
There is no need for APIs or anything. It's a signature, and you authorize your mobile wallet actually. So it identifies the mobile wallet using signatures.
I mean, if I want to connect a trading bot.
Yeah. For trading bot, there will be APIs. So we are going to work with one of the leading trading bots. Most likely there will be 3 upfront. One is
nice.
Yeah, we already have been. We are talking to Precomas, or so we will be announcing that.
Wow.
So we are going to test it in the API should be ready by the 1st or 2nd week, and they will start testing first, and then we can give it out to other partners if they are willing to test it initially, and then give feedback on that.
Wow. So basically, it's the same as the app in the sense where you just authorize it, and then they can do trading, very quick trading without.
Exactly like how you do it in normal exchanges. Yeah.
That's very cool. Thank you, Vivek.
Vivek, I have two questions for you if you don't mind.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
First question is, I just migrated from MetaMask to the native Polkadex, and I start to stacking. I found that it's a bit complicated. There is no comprehensive guides explaining the options. So are we planning to have something like that directly from you guys? This is the first question. Second question is, yes, please, go ahead.
No, complete the second question too.
Yeah. Second question is regarding the marketing. So what is the plan for the marketing moving forward? I mean, this is one of the greatest projects I've ever seen, but I feel the existing online, the interaction online is not up to the mark. So do you have plans to extend or to expand the marketing
first question about migration. I think migration was initially set up when there was no exchange listing for the native token. So I think if you do not hold a significant chunk of BRC20, I would rather encourage you to get that migrated through the exchanges. Now that we also have KuCoin going to have the native listing, and we have an additional listing that is coming up. Plus, we are also trying to get these exchanges to allow staking programs there so that you don't have to move your tokens. So all of these things will make it easier for people to migrate and store and stake and secure the network. And for as far as the migration issues are concerned, if you're facing any issues, I think there's a process already laid out. I think there's a pinned tweet somewhere or pinned message somewhere in our social channels. You can always reach out to our moderators, and if in case there's a problem, I think there's a mechanism in-house to address it if the migration has gone wrong with in any way. Okay.
If you allow me, migration went fine. I'm talking about the stacking. There's so many options. There is so many things which I didn't find a proper guides.
Yeah, staking.
What does this mean?
Yeah.
What does it mean? Yeah, staking.
See, Polkadot, if you imagine, it's a newer protocol compared to Ethereum and the rest of the ecosystem. So, as any ecosystem, certain things which are complicated will eventually be, layered up with more easier user interface. So, it's a part of building better UX and UI, which will happen in the ecosystem. That's what I believe. So, right now, it's more of the same system that we have with Polkadot. So, if you go through the same. If you know how to stake Polkadot, you should be finding it easier to stake Polkadex. So it's like, I know it's kind of complicated when you compare that to some of the others, but I think eventually it'll be, we'll be focusing more effort on building these documentation and everything. But since there are a lot of other priority
My
items,
question
that's
was,
why,
exactly. My question was about documentation coming from directly from Polkadex. Not from like YouTubers.
Have you already gone through the available media that we have right now in YouTube and everywhere?
I did, and I'm able to stack, but it was not easy.
It wasn't easy. Okay. All right. Yeah. I think it's something that we need to look at. Thanks for the feedback. I think we will work on it and try to improve that in the coming months. Yes. We'll try to create specialized learning videos. All of that is possible. We can do that. And also maybe work on one-click staking solutions. All of these are possible. Yes, we will do it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Actually, I have one more question, but if Bitcoin or Stefan want to ask before me, because they haven't asked yet, so they could. Let me check. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I'll ask.
I think you can just finish.
Yeah. I just saw again your tokenomics, and I wanted to know if in the future, in the near future, far future, you're planning to make PDEX a deflationary asset, or it's not something you're looking at?
Well, I think there's enough activity in the PDEX blockchain to, if it's a entirely deflationary asset, it will be counterproductive. So you need to have enough inflation to reward the validators and the activity that is going on. Like, for example, when you compare that to a normal parachain any other blockchain built on Substrate with its own set of inflation. PDEX has a lot more than that. We need to reward the interoperability module, which is an additional module that are run by the validators. So all of this needs inflation, right? So that means that we should automatically have another, what do you say, burning mechanism, or a mechanism where the tokens are consumed also. So it's a fine balance. Basically, the blockchain also, burns X percentage of tokens from the treasury. If it goes underutilized, whatever is there in the treasury, X percentage gets burned every month, which is like counteracting the inflation that's happening on the other side. So, it's like a balancing act. So ultimately, we want to achieve the 20 million, supply. So that's how it is designed right now. Yes. What is your question basically? You wanted to make it more deflationary? Is that what you meant?
No, I want to make it more deflationary because I know it's only the beginning of the project.
Yeah.
But I want to understand the tokenomics so I can understand the mathematical actions.
Right.
So I
See,
can
for example,
understand how.
Yeah, to make a token deflationary, you simply do not simply, you don't have to simply reducing the amount of token. If you just simply increase the demand, it becomes, deflationary. Actually, you there's no enough tokens to use, so that becomes deflationary. The more the activity, the more velocity you have, and there is no inflation, then it becomes deflationary automatically.
Yeah, I do understand, but okay, you kind of answered my question, so I'm done. Thank you very much.
Yeah. I'm not an economist. I seek help from economists to design this. So maybe we can have a separate session with one of our advisors, and he can throw more light on this. Yeah, I'm not an economist actually.
Hi, Vivek. Just a few questions for you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Yes.
Hi there.
Hello. Hi there. Great, man. Thanks.
Good.
Tell me.
Yeah, just to speak real quick to Tiny Tom's question about tokenomics, I think that it's in the team's best interest to keep open sort of mind on tokenomics right now, because proposals can always be made later to make it deflationary. And I know what you're trying to get at. It makes it hard to calculate expected market caps and compare things that way. But if you look at a lot of the newer successful projects in the space, they have similar tokenomics where they have open-ended sort of inflationary to begin with tokenomics. But as user base grows and usage grows, and like you said, velocity grows, you can put in mechanisms that make it deflationary. So I think that's a good approach, just my opinion. My question is to build on what the Crypto Knight was asking about, because this is sort of the talk of Polkadot now. Its biggest advantage is interoperable, and sort of this idea of amalgamated liquidity. Is that really how it's going to play out, where let's say you have multiple chains with liquidity on those individual chains, if they're running on Polkadex, does all the liquidity from all the individual chains become one deep liquidity pool?
Yes, it would be.
So if you had, let's say, $1 million deep liquidity pool on 5 different networks, if you're running on a Substrate-based project or Polkadex, for example, you actually have a $5 million deep liquidity pool. Is that really how it works?
That is right. So, for example, if you are bringing different assets from, like from different chains, it would be. But what did you exactly mean? Like, for example, the ERC20. Suppose, can you give me an example? For example, Ethereum.
Yeah. So what I mean, like right now, how things work is, let's say you're on Ethereum and there's a liquidity pool $100,000 deep. If you go try and buy $100,000 worth of that token from that pool, you can expect to increase the price by crazy amounts.
Okay.
But if that same project has a $100,000 liquidity pool on 5 different networks, they maybe have $100,000 on BSC, 100,000 on Polygon, 100,000 here, there, wherever. If you want to get the best price right now, you have to bridge a fifth of your portion assuming the price is the same on all the networks. So a fifth of your $100,000 is 20 grand. You send 20 grand to each of the different networks, and then you purchase your 20 grand worth of tokens from each of the different networks, right? But assumingly with amalgamated and interoperable liquidity, you'd be able to make that $100,000 purchase, and it would automatically extract it from each of the chains at the best price.
That's how it's going to work in Polkadex. It will be amalgamated liquidity.
Okay, that's huge. That's amazing.
Right.
So the other question I have is Polkadex expecting to be charging the same sort of standard fee that most DEXs charge in the space today, or what does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, that's basically part of the go-to-market strategy that we have. We have kept it tentatively at some figure, but we are very flexible on that because we want to make it or pass on the advantages that we have built through the protocol by reducing some of the friction that we have. So that cost can effectively saved in terms of the transaction fees, right? So
yeah,
that's going to be passed on. So if you look at the what do you say, the swap fees itself, or in the Polka pool, or any sort of transaction fees, it's going to be very negligible. It's not even there in the Polka pool because we have a different economics for that. So if you stake enough tokens, you don't pay any fees for swapping. So that's how it is designed.
I see.
Yeah. So
okay,
it's
so
not
that's
like,
how you're incentivized
yeah,
in holding
that's how,
the
hold the
token,
token, and that's how you pay for the cost, right? And
right.
yeah, that's kind of a different economics involved there. We iterated through many ways, and that was the best we could come up with. So which means that anybody who's trying to swap tokens on Polka Pool can do it without a fee. I mean,
provided
it looks,
they hold some amount of Polkadex.
Provided they hold some amount of token, yes.
Right. So aside from that mechanism, what would you say is the biggest sort of demand factor that you foresee?
Another thing
provided
is we
you get
wanted to
users?
solve. Sorry, man. Sorry for jumping. Finish it up.
No, all good. All good.
Yeah. Apart from that, I think one of the main pain points what we tried to solve is through the front running problem, right, on the pools. Whenever you have new tokens listed, you have this front running bots killing the users, right? So we completely randomize the process of execution, that you do not necessarily queue them up based on transaction fee. So which means that front running also can be, it's completely eliminated in Polka Pool. So no gas fee.
Does that affect you being able to get a guaranteed price on a trade though, or?
No, basically you have there is no guarantee for, if you just pay high gas fees, it's not going to make a difference.
I see.
Yeah. You just go with the basic pool, yeah, right.
The question I had there, building off of what we were talking about before, is what do you see as being another huge demand vector for driving token demand for Polkadex itself, for the Polkadex token, aside from if you're a trader, you need to hold X amount of Polkadex to use, or Polkadex to swap. Is there anything else that you see?
Yeah, I mean, I think every activity on the blockchain is going to be paying a cost with Polkadex token. So there's a lot of activity, like you have Polka IDO, you have participatory token holding, staking for that. Then you also have the interoperability, and unlike the some of the other projects, we don't use any other tokens, and we don't have any separate tokens for Kusama or anything. We just have a single PDEX token for all the activities. And especially the interoperability module is like, we'll be incentivizing the validators who actually help in bridging the liquidity, right? So we'll be paying them a percentage. So there's a lot of ways to get paid in incentivizing input PDEX, which definitely we feel that it's part of the economics mechanism where there's an incentive to hold the token, right? Not just as a appreciating
trader,
appreciating asset, but in many ways it can be even the liquidity pool mechanism that we have, right? The earning interest is paid out in PDEX, right? When they park liquidity to the order book, the incentivization happens in PDEX. So all of that is a reward mechanism that we have for holding PDEX.
Right. Okay. And sorry, final question here. Thanks for answering everything. I think your guys' project sounds great, and I'll be following closely. I am new to looking at Polkadot and Polkadot ecosystem projects, and so how do transaction fees for projects that run on a parachain work? Is it all to be expected to be paid in DOT? Are there not really transaction fees? Like what's like, how does all of that look like compared to what we currently do now?
Yeah, right now I think all of the transaction fees are happening in our own token, Polkadex, and I don't think there's any separate mechanism needed to transact on the chain. There is no additional fees that needs to be paid. It can be like we'll be just using PDEX for all activity, nothing else.
Okay, I see. Thanks.
Yeah.
And then I think, sorry, there was an something I came across that hinted at the fact that projects need to be able to secure a parachain and stuff like that. So are you guys working with somebody else who will be doing that, or are you guys looking to secure that yourselves, or how is that part looking for you guys?
No, we are working with our partners to make that happen because it's a very concerted group effort. You cannot, so we are working with our partners. We do not want to say anything right now. It will be, you can expect a detailed Parachain strategy first week of January from our side. Yeah. So it will be on Medium. So that will be our strategy for going for the Parachain.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you so much for everything. Good luck with everything.
All right. Thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Vivek, just a question. So I know that we all know the order book is basically a hybrid solution. Okay, so the trading engine is not centralized, but it's using the TEEs. Okay, and everything else is on the blockchain. So when you actually sign a transaction, but you don't actually put it on the blockchain because the TEE checks it and all that. So it's actually done in a server, let's say. So you can scale it infinitely, and this is how you can do a lot of transactions.
Yes.
We were talking about the Polkadot, the pool. Isn't the pool supposed to, is it based on the same trading engines?
No.
If so,
it goes
then
directly on the
different.
No, it goes directly on
so
the on the pool
so
to the network.
It's equal to a Uniswap.
Yeah, equal to
basically.
Uniswap. Yes, that's right.
Okay. Are they connected in any way, the prices or the pools together?
With the order book? No, separate.
Okay.
It's separate.
Okay. And are you going to release the order book first, maybe?
Yeah, we want to release the order book first, and the liquidity in order book we cannot, mix it with the other one because this will be regulated, and the other one will be open.
Okay. So you need to have the digital KYC done to use the order book.
Order book, yes, but in what level is something that we are discussing right now. How to make it easy for people. Yep.
Cool. Wouldn't the order book, in a sense, defeat the purpose of the book pool, the pool, or just for this? And people who don't want to do KYC, they stick with the pool. Is that why you're having the pool?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, people who don't want to do KYC can use the pool.
Okay. And was it going to be quick and cheaper, the gases and everything, than Uniswap?
There's no gas fees.
No gas fees. Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thanks. Bye.
Sorry, did you say that the team's priority right now is to build out the centralized order book versus the decentralized liquidity pools and exchange?
That is right.
Okay, is there any reason for that? Because it seems that the biggest
Uniswap is because there's a lot of market making to be done, and we want to put all our effort into bringing something new to the community than just replicate another Uniswap, because that is something which we can do after this. It's not a big time difference. It's like, we are already doing all of these together anyways, but just that it may just go, like, for example, if you finish order book, then maybe after 2 weeks, you can expect the other one. There's not a large gap in launching all of these.
Okay,
just a couple of weeks here and there. Yeah.
Can I clarify that the order book is not centralized? It's a hybrid solution.
It's an operator-driven solution. Yeah, right. So where it is basically the operator matches the trade with no custody.
Yeah, so it's basically
okay,
like
that's
it's basically the DEX.
okay.
Just
That's my mistake. I'm new to this project, so I'll
No, it's
definitely
fine.
have to go read everything first, and then.
Hello.
Yes, Vivek, just one very quick question. Sorry, I've got. Is that will you be pairing the PDEX token with other tokens in the DEX?
Sorry, come again.
Will you be pairing the PDEX token with other tokens in the DEX?
Of course, yes. We will be.
Okay, brilliant. Fantastic. Brilliant. Thank you.
There will be also other pairs, correct? Like USDT to Ether, for example, or something
we
like
are
that.
finalizing the best ERC20 pairs that would go in the market when we launch.
Okay.
Because it also depends on the market making. We don't want to split up a lot of liquidity into pairs that are not really popular. So we will be picking up the best pairs from ERC20 for the initial launch.
That makes sense. That makes sense. And the liquidity pool is only for the pool, right? But the DEX is dependent on the users, if I'm correct.
Yeah, DEX liquidity will be bootstrapped by our market makers as well. They will also be interacting with the, with the blockchain. They will be, signing up their wallets onto the blockchain and bridging their own liquidity on the order book. But since they are already authorized by us, like it's easier to launch. Wow. Yeah, so we'll first launch the order book.
So the order book technically doesn't really need people's liquidity. Just the pool needs it. You just need a market maker and people to use it, and then you have liquidity on the order book.
Yes. But we have an incentivizing scheme for the order book where users will be rewarded. They can actually delegate their assets to market makers and earn rewards, which is kind of great. I mean, if you're ready to give your KYC,
this doesn't exist yet.
Yeah, it doesn't
exist
very nice. There now. So if you're ready to give your KYC, just delegate your asset. Somebody can trade for you and give you profits.
Wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yep.
All right. Good afternoon or good evening, everyone. Good afternoon, Vivek. I was listening to a conversation with a respected member of the chat with you just about 10-15 minutes ago. And you've mentioned that about the native PDEX token, in addition to the Gate.io listing, which already has the native token. The core coin will be followed, and I suppose it will be at some point in January. But then you mentioned about a third listing on another platform. Is it possible to share it with us? This is my first question. Secondly, I believe it was with the same member of the chat mentioned about how hard it was to follow the staking process. My concern is I've got all of my tokens staked at the moment, but in order for me to unstake my tokens and be able to transfer them over to my private wallet or another platform, it takes 28 days, which is quite long time, to be quite fair. Is it possible to shorten it a bit, maybe down to a month, from a month or two down to a week or something? I believe that was initially done, the 28 days, for security reason. So would that be possible to have maybe about a few days rather than 28 days? Thank you.
Yeah, the first question is about the exchange. No, I think almost all of the exchanges have the same agreement where you are not supposed to, announce that before they do. So I cannot do that. Sorry. So regarding the second question about the 28 days, it is actually right now programmed into the network. So you cannot simply go and change it right now. So that's not going to be possible right now. I don't know. It may need additional, a large change, I believe, to make that happen. But right now, I don't think it is possible to change. But
are you planning a feature?
This planned feature was initially done to make sure that there's, first of all, there's a security in terms of tokens that are being bridged, so that there's no attack on the chain for, it's basically locking up the token, make sure that even if something goes wrong, we're able to, find out what is happening. So it's already programmed. It's not possible to change it.
Right. So God forbid that happens to anyone, but in case of someone is being hacked or someone got hold of their private key and trying to unstake the tokens in order for them to transfer over, which takes 28 days, it's a great idea, to be quite fair. How would you identify the genuine owner of the tokens if both of them claimed to have the ownership of those tokens? How would you clarify that?
You can check the hash. If you share the hash, and if we can check it actually.
So that's quite a straightforward process. It's
For
not
the
complicated.
bridging. Yeah. Once you complete the bridge, and if it fails, and if you give us a hash, we can know that this is the person. That's how we can identify who actually did it. They cannot spoof it. Yep.
Oh, splendid. Thank you. Thanks.
Hi, Vivek.
Yes, hello. How are you?
Hi, mate. I'm from Kerala, actually. Okay.
Oh, hey, man. Tell me.
Yeah, from Kerala, Malappuram.
Okay.
Okay, bro. Yeah. So I just want to ask you about the Polka pool. Actually, it's like when we go live, we will have the Polka pool just like the market making. How can I say this? We will receive some rewards if we give the liquidity into a Polka pool. I mean, like the pancake swap, I'm just taking an example. If we take the farming, we will get the rewards. I think it will be in Polkadex form. We will give the liquidity, maybe PDEX, USDT, and we will receive the rewards in the Polkadex form, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes. There's no other token.
Okay.
Polkadex,
yeah. Okay. And also there will be like the single staking, the Polkadex, PDEX only staking. I just want to know about that.
For the pool, you meant?
Yeah. Polka pool. I mean the only PDEX token only staking.
No, you can basically create any additional liquidity pools there. It's a decentralized thing, so you can, just like how Uniswap works, you can create a pair and start list and just list your token if you have enough market making.
Okay.
It just
Thank
works
you. So
like Uniswap. Yes, it's decentralized. There's nobody stopping you from doing that.
Yeah, I was just talking about in the pancakes app, we have this only cakes. Yeah, only cake token farming. I mean, we just farm the cake token and we receive rewards in the cake. We don't have that kind of farming, right?
We do have for PDEX. All of the reward is actually paid in PDEX. So the mechanism is basically to use the whatever token pool they're bridging liquidity, but the reward will be in PDEX, not in any other
that's
form.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, great, man. Thanks a lot. So
all right, man. Thanks.
Yeah, that's it. And Vivek, I mean the roadmap on the website, it's actually looks kind of bad.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not updated yet.
We'll update that because the Parachain thing is everything is going pushed in a week, right? But even if it's a week, it's going to the next quarter. Yes, I know, accept it. But yeah, we have to update that. Yep.
Okay. About the launching of your product, you told before, after the order book, you will launch the IDO. That's good, actually. It's like that, or
we plan to do
is
it
there any change?
the other way around, but there's no point having a product that
we need to have the
have
liquidity.
Right? Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's great. So when it's gonna be in the January? I mean, just time frame, maybe the first week, second week, like that. Maybe you can get us.
It's difficult to put
insight.
dates on these projects because most of them are. See, the difference with the research projects like this and building a house is like you have specific process to reach the completion of a house, right? It's all re-engineering. But here,
we all thrilled for this moment because we are waiting from the April. Yeah, we are seeing this mainnet launch and everything. We're so excited actually. That's why I'm asking. Maybe in January or February.
So,
I just
I mean, for all the research projects, there's no re-engineering. Everything is engineered from scratch, right? So that is why if it's re-engineered, you exactly know that okay, there are certain components, and you connect component A to B, you get C, and then you put a time on it, right? So then A has to be built, B has to be built, C has to be built. Now you can have a approximate time frame, but if you put a date on it, it's going to be really bad. Or else we can put a date where the strategy is to finish everything and then you go for a launch, and that would be like, you may have no happening for that launch period. You may have to wait for a month with nothing happening just for that launch. So, but that is like too much of a wait. It's not required. I think we just keep releasing whatever we are building. That's the strategy we are taking because it's open source. It's like it's already out there. Once you audit and once you push the code, there's nothing to hide. So it's like if you're building a car, you can just hide it and then go for a big launch. But this is like you're pushing it and it's already out there. So it's better we
and this
follow the same
seems
strategy.
to me quite. Oh my God, it's so complicated process. I think for me, I develop things. Yeah, it's so complicated in my way. Okay, so thanks for putting out this. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Vivek.
Yeah, thanks. No problem. All right. I think it's been an hour. I mean, is there? Can we wrap it up? If there are additional questions, can we have it take it offline? I guess so, right? I mean,
where is Vivek? No, Gautam. Actually, it's been so long.
Yeah, right. So he's actually out of station. He's actually working on something, so he couldn't join. So he'll be joining. He'll be back in full strength by first week of January.
Yeah, we're waiting for him.
Yes, please. He'll be back.
Hi, Vivek. Sorry, I mean, I know that the time is up, but so I just want to ask one last question. Is that okay?
Sure, man. Yeah.
All right. If you remember, this is Aloshi from Team Crypto Kerala.
Yes.
Yeah. Hi. So my question, maybe I'm comparing Polkadex with the existing centralized exchanges, but my question is, how many existing chains are you supporting for depositing and withdrawing assets with Polkadex? I mean, is it just
start with Ethereum and Substrate
and Polkadot for the time being?
Yeah, let's start with that. Let's launch it, make it working, make sure that everything works. Then we bridge others.
Okay, right. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Thanks. I guess that's a wrap. I think we can do it again maybe next week. No problem. I'm completely open to it. The team is open to it. So we can have more, maybe Dipansh can join next time, or we can have more people joining, and we can keep this conversation going. I think January is going to be really busy. I think there can be more of these sessions because there'll be a lot of feedback. So let's keep it going, guys. Okay. Thank you very much. It was very nice talking to everyone. Have a great day. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Bye from Polkadex.
You too, Vivek.
Bye-bye.